Learning objective 2. Identify and give examples of each of the three basic manufacturing cost categories. So there are three manufacturing categories. First is direct material, which becomes the main part of the product, and then it's a direct labor, which works directly with the product, and everything else, including indirect materials and indirect labors and utilities, which are involved in the manufacturing of the product, they are all called manufacturing overhead. Let's see all of these one by one. So direct material are raw material that becomes an integral part of the product and that can be conveniently traced directly to it. For example, a radio installed in an automobile. Direct labor costs are those labor costs that can be easily traced to individual units of product. For example, wages paid to automobile assembly workers. And the last category is manufacturing overhead, which include all the manufacturing costs except direct material and direct labor. These costs cannot be readily traced to finished products. These include indirect material and indirect labor. There are some examples of the manufacturing costs like depreciation of manufacturing equipment, utility costs, property taxes, insurance premium, etc. Now let's see an example from the textbook. So exercise 1.2, classifying manufacturing costs. The PC works assemblies custom computers from components supplied by various manufacturers. The company is very small and assembly shops and retail sales stores are housed in a single facility in Redmond, Washington Industrial Park. Listed below are some of the costs that the company incur. For each cost, indicate whether it would most likely be classified as direct material. So we call it DM. Then direct labor, we call it DL. And manufacturing overhead, we will call it MOH. And then selling, we call it S. And then administrative cost, we will call it A. So the statement number one, the cost of a hard drive installed in a computer, we can easily and conveniently trace it. This will be our direct material. Cost of advertising in Puget Sound Computer User newspaper. So it's an advertising cost. It's not a manufacturing cost. So it will be the selling cost. Wages of employee who assemble computers from the component. This will be direct labor because they directly work on the product. Sales commissions paid to the company's salesperson. It's a straightforward selling cost. The salary of assembly shop supervisor. So supervisors doesn't come under the category of direct labor. That's why we include them into the manufacturing overhead or indirect labor. The salary of company's accountant, it's an administrative cost. Depreciation on equipment used to test assembled computer before release to customers. It's again MOH. And the lastly, rent on the facility in the industrial park. Uh, So it's a kind of tricky because in this facility, all the different departments are working. There is also manufacturing department, selling department, and administrative department. So the rent will be shared by each department. So this cost can be categorized as an MOH, uh, which will be the rent of the production facility. This cost can also be some portion of it will be the uh, selling cost, because some of the space will be occupied by the selling department and the rest will be the administrative cost.